Hey yo Prodigies, Prod Charles here, and in this video we are going to analyze a teaser image for Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 3. Yes, it is coming, it's getting closer, it's going to be bigger and better than ever. The Meatly Games has actually said that it's going to be bigger than Chapters 1 and 2, so that leaves us with more secrets, more puzzles, and more clues to uncover the mystery at Joey Drew's studio. Prodigies, let's point out the main parts of this teaser image. It basically shows a picture of some part of the studio. It looks much larger with a shadow of what seems to be Ink Bendy there. It does look definitely like Ink Bendy's frame. It looks like we're looking from Henry's perspective because to the right we can see an axe. We can also see two posters, one of Boris the Wolf, the Bendy and Sheep Songs poster, and we can also see the Dancing Demon poster right at the back. As with the rest of Joey Drew's studio, we can see ink leaking from all over the place, and to the left we can see what looks like a pipe with a valve and a gear behind it. Now Prodigies, judging from what we've heard from the Meatly Games in the lead up to Chapter 3 being released, there looks like there's going to be a lot of things that's coming in Chapter 3. As I've already said, Chapter 3 will be the longest chapter so far, as well as there being more weapons. Yes, the Meatly Games has announced that there will be more weapons to choose from, which is really interesting because in this teaser, we can see a picture of Ink Bendy's shadow there, and it's kind of menacing, it's kind of scary, and it kind of suggests to me that Ink Bendy might actually be coming to chase us in Chapter 3, and we might have to get away from Ink Bendy by taking part in fights. Now, whether Ink Bendy actually takes damage from our items or whether Ink Bendy just gets stunned by our items is for us to wait and see, but do remember that the axe did have a life in the second chapter. Remember when we were cutting through the boards, not necessarily when we were fighting the searchers, but when we were cutting through the boards to get to the S3 vault, it did eventually snap and we couldn't use the axe anymore. Perhaps there are more scripted moments like this where we have to fight with Ink Bendy and our weapons break, kind of like in Minecraft. That would be super interesting to see. We'd have a reason to use all of our weapons, and it would also make gameplay a little bit more intense because we'd have to take part in bigger fights than we had to before. Some Prodigies have told me that this might take away the fear of the game. I really don't think so. I think that while yes, having no weapons at all is more fun in my opinion, it's not going to take away from the tenseness of the game because we'd have to come face to face with our fears rather than run away from them. Stealth aspects in horror and combat aspects of horror each have their own skills, so it will be interesting to see how both of those play a part in the next chapter and how we can hone on those skills. I don't think the posters in this teaser have as much of a meaning as in the Boris the Wolf teaser that I covered, but maybe it does indicate that yes, we will come face to face with Bendy, and yes, there will be Boris in this chapter. Strangely, there's no reference to Alice Angel in this teaser, which is a little bit worrying, but I'm sure she's gonna be there, don't worry people. The Meatly literally animated a gigantic halo on a 3 for us in the announcement trailer. There's gotta be some sort of angel character coming, and it's probably gonna be Alice. This teaser image did come with some messages associated with it. The Meatly Games did post this to GameJolt writing, "He's watching you." And of course, on the teaser image itself, it says the Ink Demon is out there. Assumedly, he refers to the Ink Demon, so maybe this confirms that Bendy is going to actually come around and chase us, watch our movements and whatnot as we try and solve puzzles around Joey Drew's studio. Or it could mean that he, being Joey Drew, is watching us as we are running away from Ink Bendy. That would be kind of twisted, but considering that Joey Drew was going a little bit crazy, it seems, from the audio recordings that we've heard so far, I wouldn't put it past him. There's also the possibility of Joey Drew being Bendy, but that depends on whether or not the worker transformation theory is correct. To the left, we can see an ink pipe with a valve and a gear behind it. Okay, nothing too special. Although some Prodigies have been saying that this could be the second ink machine. I'm not 100% convinced that it is, but it could be. It could be. We're looking at a very skewed view. The valve could be attached to some kind of gigantic ink container, kind of like the first one that we saw in Chapter 1. If there truly is a second ink machine, an Ink Machine Mark II, then it would probably have a different design, although it would probably look a lot more like the design on the plans that we saw in Samuel Lawrence's office in Chapter 2. And Prodigies, just for fun, I think this is a really big stretch, but I think that it's funny that the ink plots at the bottom left and the bottom center of the screen kind of look like a lady holding a knife and the head of Bendy. What do you think? Remember to subscribe and tap that bell for more cool and interesting horror game videos. Prodigies, I really hope that these videos help you to expand on how you think, so it helps with your thinking in your daily lives. See ya!